right, let's move on. Finally, it's our Monday winning time recap. God, that show's good. This has got spoiler alerts. If you haven't watched the show, watch it. Or if you don't want to watch the show because you're too broke to have HBO, we're just going to give it to you now. First and foremost, imagine amazing cinematography, amazing sort of a gritty background, like not quite sepia at times. What would I call it? It's definitely like more dull. Like the way that the camera is showing the footage, it's like feels like old film. The way they kind of go back between like documentary style, like shooting and like really like a movie shooting is phenomenal. The sound, the music, tremendous. The acting, of course. Some of these guys I've never seen before play any of these roles. One guy, the guy that's playing Kareem, was like a professor and had never acted before. But he's just like Kareem height, so they picked him out. So I found him. You're Kareem height, you play basketball. Like, come. So, I mean, he's been the star of the show. He's stealing scenes, too. The show gets better every week. This week, enter the antagonist for the season, Mr. Hick, Larry, Joe Bird, Mr. I chew tobacco while I hoop, Mr. the Hick from French Lick. He makes his appearance as Magic gets to the Garden in Boston for his very first professional game ever against Larry and the Celtics. Wasn't exactly true to history, but the matchup was. It did not disappoint this episode. Background drama centered around Jack McKinney, who we talked about, bike accident, night sleep mask for a while. I think he was out for weeks in a coma. I don't mean to make light of it, but that's what happened. It's in the past. It was a long time ago. He's fine now. I think he's dead, actually. But you see, he was fine. He was fine. He ended up being fine. He lived a very long life. Lakers turned the team over to former Shakespeare teacher and assistant coach Paul Westhead, who was his assistant coach he brought over. And he immediately hires Pat Riley, who was an announcer for the Lakers, and he pulls him off the broadcast. They make Chick Hearn look like a total asshole. They make him look like a racist, a misogynist. They make him look, I mean, isn't he revered? I'm pretty sure, like, Chick Hearn has a street outside of crypto. Chick Hearn Way. Beloved man. They make him out. I think he's dead too, right? Is he dead? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he's dead. But they did not do him any favors. They should have only done the dead people dirty. Like, they do Jerry West so wrong in here, and he's very much alive. I can tell you, very much alive. So anyway, others whispering in Jerry Buss's ear to fire McKinney, who's hospitalized at that moment. There's a cute little game that they played of Monopoly, where McKinney kicked Jerry Buss's ass in Monopoly, coming fresh out of a stroke, and that was the reason he was, like, reticent about firing him, which is crazy. McKinney's job, though, in this episode depends on Westfall winning a game in Boston. He was like, that's the barometer of whether we're a good team. And wow, did they ever capture the essence of the Garden. Rats. Like, great. The Garden just a shithole. Like, creepy, spooky tone. They even had Norm Nixon describe it, like, while they were at Magic's house before the game. Like, they spent Christmas at Magic's, and he was like, you can hear the sound of leprechauns in the back, and it's actually true. They actually did shit. Fans did shit on Bill Russell's bed after he was drafted. That's a real story. He was theirs. He was their player, and they shit on his bed. And just like the home cooking, the writers did play fast and loose. Magic in real life beat Bird in the forum earlier in that season, but the first game in the Garden actually was pretty factually true. A lot of physicality. The Lakers pulling off a last-second win. Refs just calling nothing. And then the interesting storyline, which I'm not sure how much of it was true, was how Magic was affected by white fans and the largely white media favoring Larry Bird over him. Because he was used to, listen, I beat his ass in college. Like, we're both here. I am me. He is this hick. Like, why are you guys treating him like Jesus? And that became the moment and the cornerstone that got Kareem and Magic, like, enmeshed and bonded, where he was like, yes, like, they're not going to treat you like Larry Bird. I'm not sure if you know this, but racism is a thing. And just continue to beat his ass more. And I promise you, they still will speak highly of him. But when they're not speaking of you, they know that you're better. So that was really, really interesting. And this show, too, creates tension in a way. I mean, we know how it ends. They got a title that year. We know. You can just go on Wikipedia, look and see 1979, 1980, title. You can see which games they won. You can see who won Rookie of the Year. You can see all that shit. You can see the MVPs. But no, the tension. You would think Jerry Buss was going to lose the team. I know the Buss family still owns it right to this day. I talk about it on the show all the time, way more than I want to. But you would be thinking that he was saddled in debt. He's trying to pull accounting maneuvers to find a way to depreciate his own players so that the value of the team, all kinds of tricky little accounting math school in order for him to not lose the Lakers. And yet, I was on the edge of my seat. The tension, the drama, the intensity. How can you create so much intensity when I already know the result? It's tremendous. Go watch the show. Don't be broke. I think you can find a crack stream of HBO Max winning time. I don't know. Hit up a friend. Text your friend. See if anybody has HBO Max. Hit me up in the DMs. I'll give you my login. Actually, I'll give you the person's login who gave me the login. How about that? Just make sure you click my profile, not theirs. Good stuff. Maybe the best drama on TV right now. You need to go watch it. And we will be back soon. We have more playoff stuff to preview, but that is all the time that we have right now for the Heat Check. We'll be back on Wednesday, most likely, as long as these allergies don't feel like COVID. So follow the Heat Check, please, as we prepare and continue the playoffs. Do not forget to download and subscribe to this podcast wherever you find them. Please tell your friends. Somebody told me they listen to this podcast on loudspeaker at their construction site. And they make other people listen. That is what we call one team, one dream. If you have other ways to spread the word, maybe you drive a school bus. It's a kid show. It's a kid show. The kids on TikTok love this. All right, follow us. Speaking of TikTok, follow us on social at This Heat Check and at Trysta Krick on TikTok, and we will see you Wednesday.